Happy Friday afternoon,
Oh,
everyone.
God, man. We made it.
Anya Žibert.
Anya.
Did I get the
Anya.
Did I get the fun letter right?
Yeah, you pronounced my surname exactly right, but my name is Anya. But a lot of American people, they call me
fucking
Anja.
Christ. Anja, yeah. Anya, Jesus Christ. You know, I'm bound to fuck up one or the other.
How do you
names
say
every
that
single...
Z as a letter?
It's je.
Je.
It's Z with a T. Yeah, je.
You speak
Je.
British
Learned something
English.
new today.
Yeah. No, I love it. You know, it's funny to me. Like I just read a really interesting article, only interesting if you're into languages, but it turns out that human language, going back, they studied something like 1,300 languages. And it turns out they all basically share the exact same traits at a sort of metacognitive layer, right? Like, in other words, there's only one way to communicate, and it's this. We could change the je to z and all these other things. We could change the look of it, but the structure of it is identical.
It's the
going
same.
back forever. And they're finding out that, like, orcas, similar, they have a very similar structured language, and orcas have a global language and a local dialect for their pod, which is fucking mind-blowing to me. You know, like, and it's absolutely wild, but it's funny how I'm a huge language
You know what that
person.
means, dude? We can communicate with aliens.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what that means.
I just wanted to ask that. Like, do you want to go straight into woo-woo?
No, hell yeah. Well, I mean, we're going to end up
You
there
literally
anyway, so.
have free spirit in the middle of your name. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Just go.
Yeah.
So, question for $1 million here. Are you familiar with light language?
Light
With
language.
Mm-hmm.
I am not.
Okay, you can ask ChatGPT or Google or whatever. But yeah, it's now, because you just started with languages. It's a galactic language. It's a very specific way of communication. I cannot really define it. A lot of people, me included, are practicing it. So it's very interesting when it comes to languages. Yeah. So,
Yeah, interesting. You know, I just watched for the second time, and I'm actually trying to see if I could do it for a third time. Watch Project Hail Mary. I don't know if you've seen this movie or
You
heard of
already
it.
went back twice?
I went back to see it in IMAX because it was filmed in whatever that 70 millimeter or whatever that big format is. And it was fucking worth every second of seeing this movie twice. But what's fascinating about it is that he meets another species, and I don't want to spoiler alert, I guess, but it's a book, so it's kind of everyone already knows the ending. But he meets another species, and they have a vibroacoustic language, right? So it's not guttural, it's making sounds, right? And so he got a computer, he got a laptop, and these are two spaceships that run into each other in space on this, like, trying to solve the same problem. And they're from different sides of the universe. And he pulls out a laptop and he goes, I got an idea. And he starts pointing to shit and saying, how do you say this? And then he records it. And then he writes down what that means. And they do the training montage, if you will. And, like, you know, you fast forward, but they get 200, 300 words in, and now they can communicate. And all he needs is this laptop to converse, to, like, something that means anything. And then it got to a point where he understood the vibroacoustic language just in general. But I was like, and again, I think it comes back to this thing. I think we all have to communicate in a similar way. Like the basis for communication is not different.
it's the sound, and the frequency. It's the sound and the frequency. Basically, how I see it, like when we are talking about the human language, every word that we say, it has a meaning. We attach a meaning to it. Yeah. So basically we say, I don't know, a table. And it's like, okay, what is a table? Okay, it's furniture or it's this thing. But like when you communicate without the specific meaning, because there are different ways how you can understand something. Yeah. Like if you're attached to one meaning, or if you let this field open for everyone to have their own interpretation. And you just communicate based on frequency and, how like the sound and the frequency, how people feel, not what they understand, but how people feel when you say something.
Yeah, and it's funny because in this movie, he tells the name of his mate, and obviously there's no word for it, but he's saying it with like this sort of like it's almost like he's broadcasting their name. I don't know, his or her,
that's kind of light language. Yeah,
but it's like this like exuberance, not just vocalizing, hey, my husband's name is Bob, right? Like it's like my husband's name is Bob, it's like this like exuberant thing, and it's like kind of funny because it goes along with what you're saying. It's not just about the words coming out of this thing's whatever mouth or whatever it is. It's a feeling, right? Like I feel this way about this thing.
Yeah, and it's really funny when we are talking about the meaning. For example, I always state this example, bee. Yeah, for example, bee. Like the animal.
Yeah.
So if you mention a bee to a child, it's like, beautiful, like drawing a bee, and it's like, oh, God, that's that animal, that flies from flower to flower and collects honey or whatever. So it's like very positive perspective. But if you mention a bee to somebody who's like allergic to bee poison, it's completely different perspective. So basically, it's the same thing. It's the same word. It's the same creature or whatever, but it has completely different meaning for people because, they are looking at it from their own perspective. And this is kind of, also my message to people. It's like, let's just leave this field open. Like, don't judge each other, like for how they see things, what they mean about something, and just focus on our own perception. You know what I mean?
It's way more fun to judge them, though. Come on.
It gets boring, you know. It gets boring because it's like a ping pong, No, you're right, I'm wrong, So yeah,
you get in look into their psyche too. You get how they came to be a certain way. It's kind of cool.
And I think this is like a topic that comes up a lot on the show because like when you talk about like spirituality, right? Like, is there a difference between an Akashic record person and a devout Catholic? Not really. I mean, they're both.
Does it matter?
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. Well, it does to those people, like
very much not, so. Yeah,
like you know what I mean. Like I mean, and like you take it down a layer from that. I mean. Protestant versus Lutheran versus Catholic. Those fuckers got some very specific opinions on those differences, right? Like, and you're like, okay, sure, but like to your point, and I think this is where it all gets really salient, is that it shouldn't matter. We're talking about the same thing, right? Exactly. We're just not so passionate, but from different perspectives. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So anyway, welcome, by the way. Like we kind of
just jumped right into it.
We just got jumped right in there.
Wait.
Yeah, no, I want to hear what you're up to like now, because I love your group, and that's kind of where we continue to meet right now. But how did you kind of get into this where you're at? Beautiful, the big badass, beautiful soul, like that all that stuff is cool. But you didn't just wake up yesterday and like land there.
Wow. Yeah. That's actually a really interesting question because it was a journey. Absolutely. When you start working on yourself, and that kind of started, I don't know, maybe it was like 2005, or maybe I think it was more like 2017 when I had like my first past life regression. And then, all like crazy stuff started happening. I wasn't really aware what is happening, but it was happening. So, my life fell apart, and then I rebuilt it, and then it fell apart again. And then I started my psychedelic journey. So, like with sacred medicines, and you go deeper, deeper, deeper. And this is the part that nobody really talks about. And I really want to shine a light on that it will get worse before it will get better.
Mm.
And people, they don't want to admit that. And I'm like, oh my God, like the journey that I had, like now when I look back, I was literally I thought that I know a lot, but every time when I woke up, and that was happening really fast, I was changing, I was shifting, like my consciousness was shifting, my frequency was shifting. I was like, my identity was shifting. Like I started, I don't know, I was this corporate headhunter, yeah? And I was like, okay, I'm a corporate headhunter. And then
hold on a second. You were a corporate headhunter?
Yeah.
Wow. I'm not judging, but I am saying that is not, if you had to be like, hey, I'll give you 100 guesses what I used to do before this.
Well, but dude, what about the guy that had a yurt in the warehouse in Manhattan, right? It seems to happen more than it doesn't.
Yeah, no, but I just I could not have pinned that on you if I had all the time in the world. Sorry, keep going.
No, it was pretty crazy because I was this corporate headhunter, very successful, like with CEOs, corporations, a lot of money, blah, blah, blah. And then I had this past life regression, and then after that, some weird stuff started happening.
What spurred
we're just glossing over that part.
What led you to get a past life regression? Because if you're a corporate headhunter, I can see you saying, let me go do ayahuasca because all the fucking CEOs are doing it. But
you see, ayahuasca came into the picture a year ago. I'm like 43 years old. So it's like, that was like 2017. So that's like 9 years, before. So like,
yeah, but what spurred this initial past life regression?
Okay. So I think it was, first of all, it was curiosity.
Mm-hmm.
I was already, very curious about a lot of stuff. Like I was asking myself, why am I here? What is the purpose? First you start with this motivational stuff. Yeah. Like this, like kind of the first stage. Yeah. Like, okay, like affirmations, I'm like, oh, I'm confident, whatever. But it's like that's nothing if you don't start living it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I was just like really, absorbing everything. So why I did that, I don't know. It's like, I think I knew a person who did it. I mean, I went through a few, I would say like burnouts, before that, but I was really not into any kind of spirituality. Like I was like, these are crazy people, like what they're saying. Like, no, like you have to be, like it has to be logical. I was, in corporations and like planning, but I was always thinking outside of the box, but I was always a rebel. But I was playing by the rules. Okay. So I was not breaking the rules. I was the rebel. I was not breaking the rules. I was just like, trying to create this field that I was not breaking the rules because I was still, shrinking. I was still like, I didn't have boundaries. I was people pleaser. I was huge people pleaser. Oh my God. When I look back. So yeah, like that past life regression, open up something. Like I was there for 6 hours in this trance that I don't even know if it was trance or whatever, but it was like the person was guiding me and it wasn't like telling me what to say. It was just like, oh, where are you? I was like, I'm in this, I don't know, Grand Canyon or whatever. I see a horse, I'm an Indian person, like crazy stuff. And I saw myself dying. I saw myself like jumping from this cliff. And then it was the point I will never forget when he was like, okay, now you tell me when it will be over. So tell me when you will, die. And I was like, okay, it's over. So where are you now? And I was like, I'm up in the air. And how do you feel? I'm very happy to go home. So when you feel that, when you kind of, I don't know, it's a feeling or knowing, when you experience that, you cannot go back. Like that's like something activated. I didn't understand what. I was just like, holy shit, there's something more.
And you were still a headhunter at this point. Yeah, you're still.
You haven't quit everything yet.
You haven't quit everything. I sense that's what's next.
That's the next chapter, first page.
Yeah, we're leading up to the next part, which is I sold everything.
I said, fuck this, I'm out.
You have to integrate that. So like what started happening, let me tell you. So I had these interviews and people were coming to me, you know, for like interviews because I was like presenting the CEOs to companies and stuff like that. So people were entering my office and I could literally feel them. I could feel their energy. I could feel like when they were telling me something, I felt that they were lying or they were hiding something. And one time, this person came, and this was crazy, like mind blowing. Now it's like normal, you know. This is like every day in my life now. But back then, I was like in my office, and this person came, and you know, he sat on the other side of the table, and we had just normal conversation. Okay, tell me about your story, and also what are you looking for, blah blah blah. And he just shifted, like suddenly he was like, I'm here to give you a message. You are here on planet Earth with a lot of energy, and you are here to fulfill this mission. And I was like, what the fuck?
Wait, hold on. The guy came in for an interview and then just went off script.
Yes. Exactly.
Holy shit.
Happened.
Now, hold on. Is he just matter of facting this, or is he like in a trance?
Like you said, he shifted. Did he like look different?
When I look back, he just shifted. Like, I don't know. I don't remember because it's like, but I know that happened. And I was like, oh my, what was that? I wasn't aware because
I need you out of my office immediately.
Is he crazy? You know,
that's like a Matrix kind of like when Agent Smith takes over a body or something, you know?
If you want some crazy Matrix story, I have for you. So
all right, well, let's finish this one. I just had to like pause there because I'm like, wait, the dude just came in. It wasn't some rando. Yeah. It was a guy there for an interview. All right, so go ahead. I'm sorry. I had to figure that out, though.
It's okay. It's like, you know, I'm not making this shit up because it's like, it's my experience. So it's like, so I was just sitting there and like looking at him, and I wasn't really asking. I don't know, maybe I was in shock or whatever, but he was like saying, you know, that I came here like with this amazing a lot of energy, so you know, incredible amount of energy on Earth, and I'm here to fulfill this mission, and there will be a lot of people, and you know, there will be a lot of challenges. And I was like, okay, whatever. So after that, I don't know, there were probably a lot of other events, but my personal life started, you know, falling apart as well. And then what was the most disturbing for me, it was the whole concept of recruiting and headhunting. So I couldn't really resonate with the fact that people were sold. Yeah, so that basically I was the person that, because I saw a person, I saw their potential, I saw how fucking amazing they are, and they had to shrink and they had to convince somebody that they are worth enough, you know, like to be as like, I don't want to do that. Like I cannot sell people because it's like, and sometimes, you know, like companies, they were not okay. And I was in position, you know, I was earning money with, you know, with that matching with companies and candidates, and I couldn't do that anymore. So I quit. Yeah. I
just like, what do you say to the guy after like, thanks, we'll be in touch? Is like, how do you end? How do you go like, all right, you're either nuts or you just dropped something like massively pivotal for my entire life. Thanks.
Yeah.
Goodbye. Yeah. You know, like that is crazy.
Wow. Yeah. So wait, when you said you had your first, is this imply that we've had more than one of these regressions?
It sounds like it.
Oh my God. I mean, you mean the first, Fast Life? Yeah, I had like now few of them.
Yeah,
I mean,
okay.
you know, we can end up with aliens and Atlantis and stuff.
Yeah,
like
listen,
that.
Look, you just go.
Yeah, we're just like, you know what I love about all this stuff, and I want to hear all these stories. I mean, I almost need to clear my next 3 days.
I'm going to do my best not to cut you off, but I just like you get to something, and I'm like, I have to know that part too.
So on your past lives thing, are you because I've done a little bit of this work too, and I'm super fascinated with this whole thing. Yeah. Each time you do it, do you feel like you're getting more and more out of each experience, or is it sort of like you're kind of like, now it's just a sideshow act, like you're just like, whatever?
Oh my gosh. What I learned is that, of course, when you start digging in your subconscious, because you go really, really deep, okay, you never know what's going to show up. You never know what's going to, come up to the surface. And when it comes up to the surface, you have to face it. And this is not just awareness. There are a lot of emotions, because on certain, like if you have some very traumatic experiences, buried deep down in your, I don't know, in your soul, like in your system, like from, I don't know which life, because I saw myself, oh my gosh, in so many different roles. And it was not only roses and sunshine, and I was not only,
well, you were jumping off a cliff in one of them. That didn't sound very positive.
I mean, but I guess, like what I'm saying is, we were everything. And I'm not even saying that this is past life, because everything is happening simultaneously. This is also what I experienced. Everything what I'm saying today is just based on my experience. So I let people like just take bits and pieces that they resonate, and create your own truth. But this is my experience, that everything is happening simultaneously. And when we go to one of our lives, and we will be shown, or we will be taken to the life that there's something that you need to resolve, or let go, or that you need to witness, so that you get this knowing, awareness, or like release emotions or whatever that will affect this current life.
Sure.
So everything is connected. Yeah. Like for example, that first time when I went to past life regression, I was this Indian woman, and that was like Indian, like from Native America. Yeah, I was a Native American woman that had a husband that didn't love her, but I had 2 kids, and kids were everything for me. So I gave my life for children, like all my life. It was all about them. But then when they grew up a little bit, they didn't need me anymore. So it was like a really stupid reason, but it was very, very powerful. And that was a part of me that I was still healing, that I was still dealing with, because it's like I was so abandoned. I wasn't loved, I didn't get any attention, not from a loved one or whatever, that I jumped off a cliff back then. And in this current life, like that was like 10 years ago. Yeah, I was in a relationship, where I didn't feel valued or seen, or, it was, everything was connected. So when I embarked this journey, at first it was because I wanted to change my career. Yeah, like I wanted to have more out of life. But then when you start experiencing that, it's like, okay, now I want to understand why this is happening. And when you ask yourself this, I want to understand why this is happening, you open this freaking Pandora box, you go down the rabbit hole, and I wouldn't recommend that. Like, don't ask yourself why this is happening, because there's no ending. And I went very, very, very deep. And with psychedelics, every time when I went, I had this question and intention, like, oh, I want to, clear, I don't know, 7 generation, before and for, like next, like all the ancestral trauma, whatever. Like, that is some heavy shit, seriously. And I was always this person, like, let's go in, all or nothing. But when I started this journey, it was very challenging for me, because you have to live your life. You, like, on one side, you are digging in your subconscious, you are, experiencing all this crazy stuff, like alien ship, like, and like some entities or whatever, like, and also you feel things and you see things, you experience things. But yet I have a son, I'm a mom, I have business. Now I have business, and my, relationship, people that I have around me, expenses, the everything, like car, rent, like all this 3D stuff. And nobody's really talking about how to live a normal life when you are going through all that. So this is one of the reasons that I also created the community, because people, we need to talk about it. We need to talk about it.
Yeah. And it's funny because I think you're not the first person to come up with something where they're like, I went in looking for one thing and I came out with 800 things I didn't even know about.
8,000. Yeah.
Yeah. And we're going to figure out half of these before we could take any more steps forward. Like, and whatever the fuck I came here for, I don't even remember what that was. Like,
it was, I mean, all the, I was always asking myself, why this is happening? I want to have the reason. Don't ask yourself why. Like, you don't need to understand, seriously, because when you start focusing on something that you want to heal, some challenge or whatever, the saying, where focus goes, energy flows. Where focus goes, energy flows. So that means that you are amplifying that. So what was happening in my life when I was focusing on something that I wanted to heal, and I was aware, that that's a challenge, that is a wound or whatever, I was amplifying it. So it started manifesting even more in my life.
Isn't that weird how that came? We had somebody on talking about manifestation, and she was like, don't focus. She actually had one that still rattles my cage every time I think about it. She's like, don't focus. If you're in debt and you've got all these credit card debts, don't focus on manifesting paying off the credit card. And I was like, well, why not? She's like, because that's not the problem. The problem is having enough resources to not need the credit card is the real problem, because if you pay down your credit card, you just ring it right back up.
If you say, I want to get out of debt, you're pretty much just, you need to have debt to get out of it.
Yeah. And exactly. She's like, and you know what has to happen? Your water heater has to break.
Perfect example.
And your car has to break down.
Just manifest the reality that you don't have the debt. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Right. Exactly. And I had never thought of it at that level before, but when you think to yourself, I don't want to be debt free, I want to not have debt. Those are actually weirdly different things.
It's all syntax.
I never really thought about it, but it reminds me of those movies where you sign a contract with the devil to become famous or something, and it's like always like some weird semantical problem that gets you in a loophole. I'm like, fuck, manifestation is this exact thing.
Yeah, you don't know what you don't know, but I think there are if we can touch also this, like there are so many people that are preaching about things that's like, it's not, there's a missing piece. Like, why aren't you mentioning the missing piece?
Well, I think it's funny with the ones that are like, yeah, you can manifest yourself $1 million. And it's like, why are you broke? Yeah. It's like not calling you out, but like
every day, give me one. Like if you are manifesting money all the time, that means that you are. I'm so happy for you. But if you are like you are overflowing, like you don't need it anymore, just give it away.
Right.
Nobody would be lacking money if this would be true.
And you know what? I actually heard, I was listening to a podcast recently, and I don't want to call it out because I do like the show, but like there was an episode where the guy had this whole thing, and at the very end, they're like, what, and it was about finances. And at the end, they're like, well, what about you? And he's like, oh, I don't actually get involved with any of this stuff. And I'm like, I just spent an hour and a half listening to you talk about financial shit, and come to find out, you're terrible at finances. Like, what the fuck am I doing?
Well, Matt, we had somebody try to give us parenting advice. And it was like some 20-year-old that doesn't have kids. And I was like, the fuck, you haven't even lived life.
Right.
Like, don't you dare come at me.
Well, that's the thing I have against those people like Eckhart Tolle and all those kind of people. Like, don't don't tell me about how mystical life is. You've never had kids. You've never had a normal job, from what I can tell. Like you're basically like a guru, and that's cool. Not shitting on it. I think it's awesome. But it also doesn't make you a fucking expert on everything. You know what I mean? Like you need to like chill out a little bit.
You know, it's so funny. A book that I used to love, just the title of, I never actually bought it, but every time you go into like the Buddhist section in like Barnes and Nobles or something, it was Ecstasy First, then Laundry. Right. And there was a book called Opening the Dragon Gate, which probably ended up making me an acupuncturist in some weird way. And basically, this guy goes through all these Taoist rites, becomes the head of this very small sect of Taoism. And then what does he do? He moves back to the village, gets married, has a kid. Like that's how the story ends up, right? Like here's this guy, he holds all this esoteric knowledge. He's done all these advanced spiritual practices. And what is he doing? He's raising a kid. It was
that can be the most spiritual thing that you can do.
Yeah.
Because kids are our greatest teachers.
Yeah.
Do you have children, Anya?
Yes. I have a son, 11-year-old.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Now that being said, I will put in the caveat: if you don't want kids, please do not have kids.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't listen to your parents, grandparents, whatever. Don't.
Yeah. If you don't. I do find it funny though. Kids, you're right, do teach me a lot about. I remember when my son, who's now going to college in August, which is crazy to me, but when he was like 6 or 5, I was cleaning up dinner one night and I have a dish towel and I'm, doing the thing around the kitchen, and he grabs another dish towel and starts mirroring me. And I was like, oh, cool. This is how you do it. He gets to a dish towel hanging in a different spot of the kitchen and he pulls it out and he starts cleaning it with the other dish towel. And I was like, huh, I never thought of that before. I'm like, that's an interesting. And then I started kind of thinking about, I'm like, wait a minute. He just sees me using this thing to go in circles. He's not analyzing what I'm doing. But it was like one of those moments where I'm like, everyone doesn't see the world the way I do. And when I got somebody to say that, you're like, oh my God, this is like enlightening. And it opened up so many doors for me. But yeah, anyway, side tangent. So
yeah, this was, for example, really powerful for me, experienced a lot. I saw a lot and everything. And still, of course, I don't know everything. I can talk about consciousness. I can talk about psychedelics or whatever, but I'm still clueless. Yeah. I can only speak from my own experiences. But yeah, like one thing I really, really know that our perception create our reality. Our perception and our reactions, they create our own reality. So basically, what does that mean? That means that we can coexist with different people in the same space, but we see the world completely different. And nobody is wrong or right. Nobody's wrong or right. It's just like how I'm seeing now, like now it's really the time to speak up, to share your truth so people can really find each other. Yeah. I don't believe that, my perception is not that the world is flat. It's not. So, but I'm not judging people who think that. They probably in their reality, they have the reason to believe that. It's okay. They can, until, they will not fuck up my life.
Right.
But we will probably not interact. So it's okay. We can coexist in the same space, in the same universe, in the same world, and not agree with each other. And spiritual people, they're like, oh, you have to be this and this and this and this and this. You have to meditate, 2 hours per day, every morning, wake up, look at the sun. Like, come on, I go to punk rock concerts. I use the word F, on public podcasts, but I know I'm a good person.
Right.
I have pure intentions. I'm here to make the world a better place. I'm helping people. I'm supporting people. And what was the most profound experience, and I can share that. Are you familiar with Bufo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I had that was the first and the last. I don't think I'm going to have another one. But in November last year, I had the Bufo experience. So when it was, it's like you smoke, like you take a hit and then you start like
rocket shipping to another planet. Yeah.
Like 20 seconds or whatever. So I was like laying down, and it was, I don't even know how to explain. I took like 2 hits or 3 hits, and then I started dissolving. So I was in this room, and my body started dissolving, and my identity started dissolving. And of course, at first I was really afraid. My nervous system got into this panic mode. My heart started pounding. I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, and I've been there so many times, and consciously I was aware, I was ready. But I guess, it was still in me like, oh my God, I'm going to die. And this is kind of, you die because you dissolve. So then I was like, okay, I connected to my inner child. It's okay. You're safe. You're safe. And then I let go, and I dissolved. Like I became one with the floor, and then with the house, and then with the country, and then with the world, and then one with the universe. And then that was so crazy. So I was this consciousness, like pure consciousness. There was no emotions. There were no thoughts. I was just there, and I was aware of it. That's the craziest part, because I was aware I'm nothing and I'm everything at the same time. Really crazy experience.
And that only lasts like 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, but like you could live and die 1,000 times in that 15 minutes. Yeah.
Exactly. So I was up there, like floating as this pure consciousness, like one with the source or whatever. And this very, very powerful feeling or knowing, came like into my existence, like into existence. So it was, I'm bored. This is boring. This is boring. I want to go back to planet Earth because I remembered I chose this. I want to go back to planet Earth. I want to touch. I distinctly feel like I remember I was thinking about the touch, and I want to, look at other people. I want to hug. I want to walk barefoot on the grass. I want to travel. I want to experience all emotions. I want to cry. I want to laugh. I want to be around other people. I want to see the nature. All that. That was so crazy. So when I got back after like 20 minutes or something, got back, like, oh, I'm here, like back into my body. I brought back this enormous love for life here, for people, for, it's not perfect. I mean, everything is how it's supposed to be. This is my experience. And I know I chose to live here, and I'm here. I'm going to make the best out of it every single moment. So that experience, it's like, if I die tomorrow, I'm freaking happy and I feel like a freaking billionaire. Even though
why would you not do that again if you had such a positive experience? You're like, I don't know if I'm doing that shit again. You're like,
why? Why would I do it? Why?
I guess you're right. I mean, you kind of got the T-shirt. You're good.
I remember
anymore, like before, it's like, oh, I want to feel good. Like, let's go back. I don't need that anymore.
Yeah, we actually had a guy on our show that used to...
Jason got the same kind of message.
He used to do LSD a lot, and he's had these profound experiences. And then one time he was really deep into a trip, and the consciousness on the other side said, don't come back here. You're done. And he did.
Just to check.
He took it again, just to check. And as soon as he dropped in, nothing happened except for one thing. He saw that same consciousness who said, I told you not to come back here. Get the fuck, you're not welcome here anymore, and turned him away. And it didn't work. It didn't have any effect. And I said, that is fucking wild. like that is just Dave the Mystic. We've talked about him a million times. He said the same shit. He goes, people from other planets come here to vacation because it's interesting. because we are one of the only planets.
If you're a consciousness that's completely evolved, you can't experience what we would consider the trauma of existing here.
He's like, in a planet that's had evolved consciousness for tens of thousands of years, they've tried everything. There's no more question marks. Like they know everything and I'm like, that is kind of nuts to think about though, right? Like, I mean, that is the inevitable conclusion though of an evolved life form, right? You kind of get stuck in this trap. You're like, okay, well, we figured it all out. Now what? Yeah.
There are so many layers to our existence here. So like we could have, I don't know, a week long show, and talk about
of course.
it, because it's like, about karma and about reincarnation and about dark forces and shadow government and blah, 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 and like all this alien that they are already here. It's not alien. It's like,
just
beings or whatever, that they are already here. But I've seen, like, I literally seen 2 times or 3 times. I've seen the spaceship.
I'm trying to get a guy on the show who swears up and down he saw a spaceship with a bunch of. I got like a whole show on that.
I've been trying to get somebody that does the Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind, but from like Bob Lazar kind of method. But
what happened to me? Yeah, it's at first it was on, I don't know, I think it was on psychedelics first, but then I was.
Yeah, just keep going. He'll come back.
Is that me?
Love Riverside.
So I was listening to my heart. I was just, laying in my bed, and I was listening to my heart. My friend, he invented this device that you can listen, the heartbeat. And you have this mask with LED lights. So basically, when you listen to your heartbeat, the same rhythm, it's like flashing with your eyes. Yeah. When you have the mask on with LED lights. So I was laying in my bed and I was listening to my heartbeat. And then it was so crazy because my body started vibrating, and I kind of knew, I knew the process. So I wasn't afraid. I was like, okay, here we go again. So my body started vibrating, and then I just got pulled out of my body. Yeah. And I found myself on this medical table, and I knew that I'm on a spaceship, and I didn't see the beings around me, but I knew that they were there, they were doing something, and I wasn't afraid. It was just like, come on, really? Now just get over it, like
right,
it was
right.
such an interesting communication. And so I know there's a lot going on, but I have my own experiences, so I can talk about these experiences, and I'm like, nothing can take that away from me because
so let me ask you something, and this is maybe a little bit devil's advocate-y to the people who might say this is crazy, right? Yeah, you know what I mean? But like I've noticed that people who are open to, say, Bufo, for example, right, are more likely to have been in contact with an alien than somebody who's like an accountant who doesn't even drink coffee because it's too stimulating, right? Like, I feel like there are some commonalities we see.
Well, there wasn't there a report? I forget which president was. They just won the election, and they were out at a victory party, and they came out after the victory party, and like 70 or 80 people saw a spacecraft. I forget which one it was. It was relatively modern. I don't know if it was Kennedy or not, but like, I don't know if I would expect a president to come out and say they saw something. I mean, certainly we're seeing some weird stuff being talked about by the government, but I don't necessarily know if that completely correlates. I would say there's probably a higher percentage of people that have done psychedelics that see things, but then you have the question, is it because they've changed their brain so they're able to see?
Well, that's where I was going at it. Yeah, right. I was kind of edging at that. Like, do you think that these sort of openness to certain things open pathways to experience other things that if you didn't open that first door, you'd never even see?
That's a weird musing.
And you know how I see it? It's people, they probably experience a lot of stuff they don't remember, or they deliberately forgot, maybe when they were children, when they were very young, or in their dreams, and they didn't even think about it. But now, because there's so many information, and like psychedelics, this is just the tool. They're not even necessary. You don't have to try, you don't have to take psychedelics to have some kind of this
I think I wasn't using it explicitly. I was using it more like suggestively, like, okay, if you're open to this sort of experience.
But not everybody. For example, I don't know, there are people who are more connected to, I don't know, archangels or some other dimensions, or fairies or dragons or whatever. They're not necessarily everybody connected to aliens. Like, I know that I'm a galactic person because I've been, connecting to the space for a very long time. And I always knew that I'm more connected. I was more outside of my body than in my body. So now when I really started living in my body, like, my life completely changed, because it's completely different, and the perception and how I see, how I feel, it's completely different. But yeah, if we are talking about experiences, is like when people feel safe, and now more and more communities are popping up, that people, they are starting to open up, because they, like, what is worse than being how to say it, like, rejected, excluded, like, oh, you're crazy, judged. That's why people didn't speak up. And there are so many individuals that had some kind of experiences, and now when people come to me, it's like, oh, Anya, I want to change the job, for example. Yeah, it's like, I want to change my career. I feel that this is not my path. I want to go there. And then we start talking first about, their desires, whatever. And it's like, okay, so what do you feel? What do you know? And then like, my question is, so did you have any multidimensional experiences? It's like, oh my God, and like, when you ask a person that without judgment, it's just like normal, like, hey, do you want to go for an ice cream? Because when you find yourself in this space that is completely normal, and is actually really, really desirable, that you open up and you show up who you are, and you share something that you haven't shared with anyone before in your life, that's magical. And then people open up, and now more and more people are, opening up, waking up, or whatever, and they are sharing this stuff. So.
Sure. And I think that's actually the beautiful badass souls thing, which, we've kind of danced around a little bit. We'll get into that. I think, we got to talk about that before we get off. But I think the reason that these things are having moments right now is because we have realized that, like, the way we did social media up till now kind of wasn't super helpful. We just had this huge conversation about all these kids that are going back to flip phones and digital cameras because they're the opposite of the cell phone. Like, they're like, nope, I don't want to be here. But what they do want to do is have a good experience. They want to meet up with people in real life. They want to take pictures still. They just don't want to do it with their iPhone, right? Like, and it's interesting to see why that's happening. I mean, look right now, where the whole planet's on edge about something, right? And it's different everywhere. But like, here in the US, I mean, we're in a fucking war. Our economy's going crazy. It's $6 a gallon for gas. Like, I mean, shit's going weird right now, right? Everyone's just looking for some calmness somewhere to take their fucking mind off of the craziness that's around us all the time. And when you look at communities like what you built, you realize very quickly, you don't need to be the Gap and have tens of millions of customers, if you will. You need a few hundred, maybe a few thousand, great, but a small group can make a huge impact to the only people that matter, the people in the group.
Exactly. Yeah. And I would like to emphasize also something, like, again, based on my own experiences, like, when we are talking about business, and building communities, and for example, I started with the free community because I just wanted to, get it out there. And I wasn't really sure what I was doing. I was still learning, I still don't have everything figured out. I'm learning by doing, because everything what is, coming through now, it's something that doesn't exist, like especially like the combination and everything what I want to share, everything how I see and the visions that I'm getting. So when it comes to communities and all this very shady, techniques like in business, and it's like, oh, let's bring people together, like, oh, subscription based community. I always say, come in, yes, like you have to pay those $39 because it's a commitment. Yeah, it's a commitment, but you don't have to stay. You are there, just take whatever you need and you can leave. You can leave tomorrow if you want or whatever. But if you get in, you will definitely expand your consciousness, because everything like what I'm doing is channeled. I'm doing it with the purpose. It's not for me. It's not for me. It's for people. You can see how people react, like what people are experiencing in the group, because everything what I put out there, I feel that somebody needs it. And it's like, it can be very transformative. It can be very powerful, whether that's a contact, whether that's a tool, whether that's information, or it's just like me showing up and sharing something. And I always say to people, do not lock yourself somewhere. Like, you are freaking multidimensional energy being with limitless power to create your own reality. Do not limit yourself. Even when they join some communities or whatever, it's not like, oh my God, now you join, now I'm going to have recurring, revenue or whatever. Yeah. No, like, come in, pay, you can go out. But if, like 1,000 people do that, I'm still going to be okay. You know what I mean? Sure. I don't have to hold them. I'm letting everything open. And I also say, like, go to that community. I don't have anything like that maybe will help you with what you're dealing with, but I know people. Go there, give them their money. I mean, your money. You know what I mean? Like, this is how I see it. It's all about connecting, co-creation. And yeah, the Beautiful Badass Souls is all about co-creating. So all these amazing people come together, we exchange, we share, we hold space. And then it's like, hey, now you fly. Now you don't need me anymore. So... Yeah.
And I think that was, for me, Tom and I have talked about this a lot about the show. I think for me, we started out thinking our show was going to be about like red light therapy and, meditation tools. It did. It didn't stay there very long, thankfully, but it did start there. I mean, and look, we still have our things that we dive into deeper than others, but like this conversation is a perfect example. Like, in a traditional sense, alien encounters, past life regressions, and BUFOs got absolutely fucking nothing to do with health, except it's got everything to do with health. Right?
It's your mental health, it's your well-being, it's your purpose on the planet. All of that plays into health.
And if you don't have those in fucking check, you ain't got shit, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so I would argue that it's foundational to health. Like, it's a pre-health situation, right? Like, before we could even talk about it.
It's one layer, because there are different layers. And again, where your focus is, like where your focus goes, energy flows. And my intention was, like, when all that stuff started coming up, I had to face it. And a lot of shadow work. I don't know if you're familiar, but shadow work, like that was, that is kind of that is the thing. Yeah. Like emotional alchemy. And shadow work. So how to deal with all these uncomfortable emotions. And I'm doing it with a lot of humor, with a lot of playfulness. And also when you are, for example, I was having my business, and I mean, I still have it, but like when I was going through all that process, like I became completely invisible for customers. Because my frequency shifted so much, like, and the recalibration and everything, I became invisible. Like, my business went it completely, disappeared. Like, I was completely broke. I found myself in these crazy situations, like, what the hell is wrong with me? But that is like, nothing is wrong with me, because that is all part of the journey. That is all part of the process. And when we come together and we talk about that, I don't care if, you are a CEO of a multi-dimensional, multi-million-dollar.
I would rather be a CEO of a multi-dimensional one.
Yeah, I want to. Yeah.
But if, you mentioned in the beginning that a lot of these people, they are going to ayahuasca retreats or whatever. Like, yeah, they can go and they can have amazing experiences. But if you are not doing anything with it, like on Monday, like you can be on retreat, from Friday to Sunday, but on Monday or on Tuesday, when you're coming back to your company and you're doing same shit and you're not, you are not, how can I say, alchemizing, and you are not controlling your own reactions and emotions, and you are still an asshole to other people, well, that ayahuasca, that will only make your life worse.
Yeah.
Because even more shit will come. Like, you have to integrate, you have to embody, and a lot of shadows come up, and people react in certain, and it's okay. And I love talking about shadows. Like I said, I was a huge people pleaser, and I felt, when somebody was lying to me, I didn't know what to do. And, I was also doing a lot of the things that I'm like, oh my God, how could I do that? But I did it. It's okay. That was a part of the process. And now really, I shifted so many times, but now it's like my mission. I'm here to support, I call it like beautiful empaths, like highly sensitive people, to remember how to be beautiful, badass leaders. So basically, they know how to set boundaries. They know how to step into their power. They can be all multidimensional. They can talk to aliens, but still they can be here and be amazing human beings and lead and earn a lot of money and have a fucking amazing life.
Right.
That's it.
And it's funny when you think about it, because people, when I have conversations like this, people like you, like, have a real knack for explaining things of course it's this easy. Like, but
no, it's not.
But when you do the work, though, that's not easy. But the process of getting there is reasonably straightforward, right? Like, it's not, in other words, it's not complex, right? Like, okay, if I want
to face your shadows.
Yeah, but that's it. Like, if you have somebody that tells you that and you do the work, then it's a reasonably straightforward thing. If you hear somebody say that and you dismiss them, then it's confusing and it's strange and it's an alien concept, right? But if and that's kind of one of the fun parts it's actually one of my biggest like downfalls of this show, is that now I have too open of a radar in some of these things. I'm like, all right, that sounds great. How do we dig into that? And I'm like, you only have so many hours in the day to kind of like do some of this work. I wish I had infinite time to go down all these things, but I almost have no filter anymore. I'm like, all right, what's next? What can we do? How do you explain this to your kid? I'm curious. You got some fun stories and some really deep...
and 11 is kind of an interesting age to do that, right? They get a lot of stuff, but they don't get everything.
Yeah. So how do you pass this information on to somebody like that?
Very interesting question. Well, me and my son, we live in a very small apartment now. So basically, he hears everything. Now he's with his dad, but he witnessed a lot of crazy, conversation. But he's very open. Like, we are talking about the fact that there's much more. Like, there's more that he sees, and he can feel it. And he's like, sometimes like, oh mom, I saw that. Or of course, like, he sees everything on TikTok or whatever. He is using phone and social media and stuff and YouTube shorts, and he's asking me all these questions. I'm explaining to him in a very grounded way. Yeah. And also, like, he still needs to go to school, he still needs to take responsibility for his action. And, but we are talking about love a lot. And he's like, all the time, like, oh my God, yesterday we are painting together. Like he's really, really artistic. He's really talented. And we spend time painting together. And he's like, yesterday he painted this picture. And it's like, we don't love, we are love. I was like, oh my God, you are my son.
Proud mama moment.
Like, we don't love, we are love. It's like, he gets it. He gets it. So it's like, that's all I want. That's all I want.
It's a hard concept to teach kids. And that's why I was asking him, like, oh, you have an interesting age child. You're in an interesting sort of stream right now. And I was just, it's not something kids have a lot, especially
Matt,
not here.
I wonder if it's hard to teach kids, or it's hard to not program them.
Oh, that's hilarious. Right. And not
how do you not keep them programmed by society's standards, right? Like, how do you keep that creativity, open-mindedness in a kid and not have it beaten out of them?
It is challenging. It is definitely challenging, but I'm trying to find a balance.
Sure.
Because he's here to have an experience. I'm not going to rob him from his experience. He needs to go. Like, I will always love me and his dad, even though we are separated. We are always going to love him. He knows that he will always have our support, whatever happens, whatever he will do, what kind of, whatever, I don't know, situations or decisions he will make. But, it is challenging, because it's like, I don't know. It's like everything what I'm doing also for him, because all this shadow work, all this ancestral healing, it's like that he doesn't have to.
Sure.
And I can see it. I can see the shift. I can see the change whenever I release something, whenever I do something. It's like, me and his dad, we got separated on it was very challenging situation. And like, there was a lot of anger, hate, sadness, judgment. But after all this work that I've done, now me and his dad, we are co-parenting. We are in an amazing relationship. And it's like, oh my God, like if I look back, like this is my achievement. And we are great role models for our son.
And like, I think the interesting part about that is like, oftentimes when I'm at like late at night, I'll think to myself, I'm like, what if I would have had this show when I was 25 instead of 45? Like what if I had this exact, and I was like, you know what? I wasn't ready for it when I was 25.
Exactly.
Like I wouldn't have done anything with it probably. Like I don't, I don't even know if I would have learned anything, or at least not to the degree that I am now. I mean, and then I have to be okay with that, because I do think that there is something about chronology, right? Like you learn it when you're meant to learn it, not before, it's just like, this is the moment where I was supposed to learn this.
Yeah. And also yesterday I heard something really powerful that stuck with me, that really, stayed in my system. So when we are talking about our past, or sometimes, when I'm on podcasts, oh, tell me your story. The story is not important. What is important is how you react to the story, like after the story, what you do with that story.
Right.
Yeah. Because each and every one of us, we all have stories, but like, why should we talk about the story? It's not important. It's like, what did we get out of it? And me, for example, like I stopped being people pleaser, I have said, I know how to set my boundaries. I know who am I, and nobody can change that. Like, I'm not afraid to show up exactly who I am, even though like I'm, in the most vulnerable state, but I'm a human being.
Right.
And this is all in the package. So this is so powerful, and I would definitely, it's not like suggestion, oh, start working on yourself, because like life itself is spiritual. You know what I mean? You don't have to become spiritual, because we are spiritual being having a human experience. And everybody are like trying, oh my God, he's so spiritual. He's not. Oh my God, I went to this event and he didn't go, or what, like, we all have our own paths. Like we shouldn't compare to each other. We shouldn't, judge each other. Just focus on yourself. That's quite enough of work,
Sure. Yeah. It's a full-time job, man.
Well, yeah.
Anya, I could talk to you literally all week, but I want you to kind of tell us more about the community and stuff, because we do
the Anya commercial.
The Anya commercial, yeah.
The Anya commercial.
Yeah.
Yeah. So beautiful badass souls. Yeah. Why beautiful badass souls? I actually wrote a book as well. I channeled a book, Beautiful Badass Leader. It's not published yet. It's done. It's written. And it's basically beautiful is this feminine energy. Yeah, it's empathy. It's with emotions. Badass, we call like masculine, like this warrior. But the combination, we are both. We are everything. So I'm embodying fire. I'm embodying this gentleness, calmness, and we are that. And Beautiful Badass Souls is the place, is the community on Platform School, that everybody who are feeling that they are multidimensional, they have these crazy experiences, they know that they are here for more. They know that they are here to contribute to this mission to make the world a better place, whether they have their own business or they have an idea or whatever. But they need to find their own tribe. They need to have this system, like the people around, to just put them up there, to help them thrive, to help them shine a light, like to really, really, really shine. And this is why I created that, because when I was in this process, I didn't have that. Or I thought that I had it, but people wanted to lock me in. They're like, I started following a person, or I joined a community, and they thought that they owe me. Yeah. Because I was like, I paid, like, I don't know, it was a coach or a mentor or whatever, and they just wanted to keep me. They didn't want me, let me go. It's like, now you're fine. No, you need me. You have this and this challenge and this challenge. That's wrong with you. That's wrong with you. We don't do that. We don't convince people that there's something wrong with them. We just hold space for them to freaking shine. And we are supporting each other. So
yeah, I love it. And the people that I've run into on your platform, it's cool because they're from a variety of places in the world. They're from a variety of different backgrounds. And it is neat to see that we have so many options. Where you and I have talked about the octopus movement, similar thing, right? Like some days octopus is the right place for me to be, other days it's not. And I love that we have this fluidity. And like, you can, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. I mean, I see what you did there, Anya, bringing it all back to it's almost like you've done this before. Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, one more thing, like when it comes to communities and social media and stuff, I'm constantly removing people. Because, like when people come in and they are not taking responsibility, or like they are not committing or whatever, like, no, I want to be surrounded. I want to co-create. If I open my world to people, I want that they know what they're getting and they're going to do something with it. Yeah. For the world, not for me, for the world. And if they're not doing that, they're just talking, but not walking their talk, I'm removing them. Like literally, I removed from my social media thousands and thousands of people, and it was the best thing I ever did. So yeah, this is how I am. It's like I have very, very strict boundaries, but I have open heart. And people, when they meet me on my level, oh my God, like we can do a lot of magical stuff together. But honesty and integrity and authenticity is a must.
Yeah, I have a sticker on one of my laptops. It's like, I'm a little bit peace and love and a little bit go fuck yourself. And I'm like, I love that sticker because I'm like, that is perfectly my world. You're like, I'm cool, but have a, again, I will remove you without even thinking about it kind of as well if it's not suiting.
Or, I mean, people maybe, they're like, oh, I will stick around. I know that this is not place for me, but I will stick around just in case, I will get something. Well, why are you here? Because like there's probably something else for you. So I'm practically doing them a favor. I'm not doing like
you're welcome. Click.
Exactly. Like you're welcome. And this is how it should be. Like people should really just start following their own calling, and not like I don't know, and not like I said, locking in or attaching to something. By the way, are you familiar with this concept, non-jar?
Non-jar.
Non-jar?
Yeah.
No.
This is really powerful. So for your viewers as well. So it's non-judgment, non-attachment, and non-resistance. Non-jar. This is really like if you integrate this concept into your life will completely change.
Yeah. There's actually weirdly no shortage of Google results on this.
Wow.
Is it?
Yeah.
Was it a TikTok trend at some point?
No, I don't know. There is an AI summary of this as well. It's not an unknown topic.
Know.
Song by Fearless Soul.
YouTube.
No. Listen, there's people talking about it. I mean, there's YouTube. Yeah, exactly. But there's people like in the coaching space that are kind of writing articles on this.
Somebody wrote a song about it.
Yeah.
Wow.
See, this is what I love with these shows. You pick up a little nugget. Now I'm going to go research this. You're the last thing I'm doing today. So, yeah.
Well, no, you're going to do that today.
Yeah, now I'm going to do that. Yeah. Anya, awesome spending time with you. Where's the best place to send people? To the website? Like, what are we doing?
They can find me on LinkedIn. I mean, whoever has LinkedIn, like I'm doing a lot of things on LinkedIn that a lot of people say that doesn't belong on LinkedIn. Oh, yes, it does. It's my LinkedIn. Does. So LinkedIn is like kind of preview. They want to, have a taste or trial before they join the community. They can connect on LinkedIn. Otherwise, Beautiful Badass Souls, the school community. They can check out my activations. High Five Free Spirit Soul activations. This was, I created those after another plant medicine ceremony with Wachuma San Pedro. Activated my throat chakra and I, started channeling. So 48 very powerful activations. What else? Rebelsrising.net. That's it. I mean, even if they Google my name, I don't know what ChatGPT is saying. Yeah, you're everywhere.
That was why I was asking him, like, what's the best place to send to this lady? Because she's everywhere, man. Like,
I'm everywhere. I'm multidimensional. You can put me in a spaceship.
Exactly. Cool, man. Listen, Anya, it is awesome talking to you. I'm so glad we finally got you on here.
Thank you for hosting me. You are a really, really cool host. So thank you.
Thank you so much, man. That was awesome. I really have a lot of fun doing this, and it's easy when we have people like you on. So, cool. Well, with that, I wish you guys a great weekend, and that'll be it from me.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Sending love from Slovenia. Slovenia is the only country in the world that has love in its name. So embrace that.
I heard you say that on yours, and I love that's like one of those like cool like Slovenian things, isn't it? You're like, hey man, we know we got love in it. Yeah, it's
a bumper sticker.
It's a bumper sticker. Yeah. It's a bumper sticker in Slovenia for sure. Yeah. All right. Take care, guys. Bye.
Be subversive, irreverent.
Health is wealth, but you knew that.
Everybody knows that.
But so is following us on social media at Irreverent Health. And check out our website for more exclusive content at irreverenthealth.com.
Oh, I like this.
Thanks for tuning into this episode of Irreverent Health.